Right. Hello, everybody. Today, Chandler and I are going to be reviewing Corporate Clashes 1.3 update manager bosses. We'll be doing the street bosses and the kudos bosses. Chandler, anything you want to add?
No, let's get right to it.
All right. So, first, we have the Bellringer. Not really interesting. I'm honestly gonna put him into. I have to, it's between D and F tier. It's not really an interesting battle. All you got to do is just make sure he's not the only cog in battle and sound. I mean, I guess if you don't have all the tracks, then maybe he's difficult, but I don't know. To me personally, he belongs in D tier. I've done him at least 20 times now, so I don't think he's a big deal. Chandler, what do you have to say about him?
Well, I would say out of all 16 of the managers introduced, this is definitely my least favorite. Not just because of what you said, but because there's really nothing to it. Like
Yep,
every single round, just heals himself for an X amount of HP. You only really need sound, tune up, drop. That's about it.
that's right.
Sound, so the cogs aren't overcharged, and drop just to drop the Bellringer. I mean, 950 HP, that's not too much. And the cowbell really doesn't do itself any favors. So I would say this is an F. I would not really do it again. And I have the cowbell, and you never see me rock it. So,
That's right. That's right. That cowbell is not appealing at all.
oh, hell no.
All right. And next we have the chainsaw consultant. This is probably gonna be maybe different opinions for everybody, but I certainly have to put him in S tier. Uh, in battle, you really have to think. You can't just simply damage him every round. Like some rounds, you gotta just deal with it, take the hits. Some rounds, you gotta IOU, and you really got to be stingy on your unites because if you unite at a certain point and it's the wrong point, you're screwed, and he'll just really mess you up. All the cheats he has, they really ruin you, especially that first phase. If you get to Deadwood, you're out of there. If you get throttled in that second phase, you're done basically. In that third phase, if you get it's yeah layoff. If you get a layoff, you better watch out because those level 30 cogs they hurt. And the reward, I mean, it's hat. It's not the best reward, but it's still a cute hat everybody seems to like. But that's not the main point of doing the chainsaw consultant. Chandler.
I would agree with you 100%. I would definitely give this an S tier. It's the most complex battle in the game from a gameplay standpoint. And I just think it's the hardest battle in general, even if you have a good group. Now, with the Pacesetter, if you're with a bunch of dead brain idiots, obviously that's going to be the hardest. But I would just say cut the slack can ruin any run at any time. And people still don't know what triggers it. It's between that and marked wood.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, in the final round, a level 30 can do 122 when its HP is filled. So you kind of want to avoid that. And I think you just need to understand when to hit him, when not to hit him, controls RPM. And I personally want the hat. I've only done it once, and I want to do it again because this is truly my favorite manager out of all 16. That's really all I have to say. I agree with your point 100%. It makes you think. And with a good group, it'll take around like an hour. So it's definitely an endurance test. I'll tell you that.
For sure. And shoot, even an hour in, you're still at risk of dying. Like it's not like one of those easy bosses that you do. You're about to finish, and you're not risking dying. In Chainsaw Consultant, you be there for 2 hours. You still have a big chance of dying. So it's not like an easy pass.
When lore misses in phase three, oh boy, have fun. We would know.
Yeah, we would definitely know after all the
We got to do
times.
that boss again soon.
Definitely, definitely. I love Chainsaw. Well, next manager we'll do is the Deep Diver. I have to maybe put him above Bellringer, maybe B tier. I'm putting him in C tier personally. There's really nothing to his battle. I mean, literally, all you got to do is take that first set out, wait for him to get out of the water, and then second round, because there's going to be cogs. You just sound those cogs, get your encore, do some more damage to Deep Diver. It's really that it. And he doesn't really do much damage in the first place. I guess if you get the, the water soak thing, maybe he'll
The
do.
boots.
Well, no, I'm
The
talking
boots
about
is the ruler.
his hit that he hits multiple tunes. I mean,
Oh yeah, the water cooler.
yeah, he can take like I guess 21 damage. I don't know if he can hit 4 tunes or 3 tunes at most, but there's really nothing to his battle. If you want to grind for his boots, then go for it. I don't think they're worth it, but yeah, I had to put Deep Diver in C tier.
Well, I will say this one is going in F as well. It does have more of a gameplay element compared to the Bellringer, but it's really just submerge underwater. And if there's a cog in battle, they'll promote it to I think like a 70 XC, and you have to defeat it, and they'll come out of the water. And if that doesn't happen, he'll just stay submerged for 1 round. Just tune up, dick around. He comes back up. You do damage, rinse and repeat. I just think it's a really boring manager. I mean, 400 health. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it feels like forever. And those boots. Who wants those boots? Like, I really don't care for them.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. You give it a C, but this is definitely enough for me. I think it's the second worst, just behind a Bellringer.
Yep, I can't disagree there. That's why I was putting Bellringer in F, maybe D. That one was hard for me to choose because it's obviously the
Yeah.
worst. And then Deep Diver is not far from it.
Nope.
Now, next we'll do the Duck Shuffler. Honestly, I really enjoyed the Duck Shuffler. It's an easy boss. I mean, shoot, you can easily do it. I'm sure people could have sold it. But I'm going to put it in B tier just because the gameplay is really fun with it. I mean, I think together Chandler and I have done it maybe 10 plus times, and I've done it like 20 times. Well, I guess another 10 outside of Chandler, but I've probably done it a total of 20 times. It's fun, it's quick, it's easy, and I think it fits Toontown Central perfectly fine, and B tier really works for it.
I agree with you. It said I'm going to give it a C just because it's a stream manager. I will say out of all 8 of them, I think this one is my favorite. I mean, it's a literal slot machine. Does a spin attack, 6 damage, 100% of the time, whatever. And then it's cheat. You can get jelly beans. You could turn into a duck. You can gain 7 health points. You can have a bar dropped on you, which I think you lose like 3 HP.
Yeah,
But I just like that there's different variations to it, and the personality is really good.
certainly.
200 HP, it's not a lot. And as you said, you can easily duo it. And the money bag, I think, is cool. And I have it. And sometimes I rock it. It's definitely better than the cowbell. But I
Definitely.
would say that this one is great.
I definitely agree. Cannot disagree there. Uh, Next, we'll do the Featherbedder. Um, Probably gonna put it below Duck Shuffler. I think maybe in front of. Yeah, I'm actually gonna put Bellringer in F and Deep Diver in D, and then I'm gonna put Featherbedder into C tier. I mean, the gameplay is stale with the Featherbedder. I mean, literally all you do is just. I mean, you could honestly cheese the heck out of it for like what is it, 3 rounds, 2 rounds without the damage thing.
Around there.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's like 2 or 3 rounds. You can literally cheese it, do damage to him solely, and then let cogs join. Then you got to zap them, and then you get a damage boost of 3 damage per cog, and that really adds up quick. If you do. If you just take out 12 sleeping cogs, that's literally 36 damage that you get added to your gags. I mean, it usually doesn't get that far, but that's just an example, you know? But I mean, Featherbetter battle, it's really stale. It's honestly way easier than it should be for a Donald's Dreamland Street boss. It really should be much more difficult than it is, and that's why I'm only putting it at C tier, above only Deep Diver and below Duck Shuffler.
I'm going to put this one in D. I think it's another one of those stream managers that is just more annoying than hard. I mean, 3,800 HP, I mean, that's a lot. But really, all you need is Squirt and Zap.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a necessity because if you sound a napping cog, well, good luck dealing with that.
Yeah.
And the napping cogs, they really don't do much. Like, literally, all that happens is they take 80% less damage and they deal 70% less damage to you, which is not too bad. And you have 2 rounds to take it out. And once nap's over, I think they'll get like 3 times the maximum health. And you just got to take care of them. Obviously, you won't get the +3 when their nap's over, but it's just not that hard of a boss. And at a certain point, once you defeat enough cogs, you're just like, I'm just going to ignore them. I'm just going to go for the Featherbedder. And it's usually a fight that takes around 10 minutes if you know what you're doing, which in this game is not a whole lot of time. And people still struggle with this. And I just want to ask, like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And the accessory is a little corny. And just the design, it kind of looks like the owl from Winnie the Pooh. I keep saying that to Eddie, and he agrees with me.
Yeah, I have been
But
told
I
so too.
just don't think it's not hard. And for a DDL, I think it's a joke. But it's spoiler alert, I think all the street managers are kind of a joke, and they can be easily cheesed. So having said that, I'm gonna give it a D.
I agree with your points for sure. I can't disagree. Now, next we have the Firestarter. I mean, I enjoyed the battle. I think it's a little easy as well, and it's the Berg. I'm gonna put it in C tier as well. Um, I mean, the battle is it's easy. Literally, you just squirt him first round and 3 drops. The next round, maybe a throw, and then 3 drops, and then after that you lower him, throw, drop, tune up. It's really about the same thing. But I mean, it's a fun battle. It's easy. I think you can get that done in less than 10 minutes. But I think C tier really fits it. Although I like the rewards you get from it, and I think they added more or one more recently. So I guess given the rewards, you could contend him as B, but I think he belongs in C.
I would agree with you. I would give it a C. I don't think it's all too bad either. HP, I think it's 3,350. Again, score, do some drops. And I really don't think the Firestarter's attacks are that bad. Like the Barn Burner's not too bad. You just got to be careful in what you're doing. And ultimately, once they're fired, I think they get triple their HP, but they take more damage. You can really just sound them. It's not much of an issue. And just
Mm-hmm.
that's all there really is to it. It's really hard to die unless something goes wrong with your gags. And if you cheese it, then it gets more interesting if things start to mess. Again, as we would know,
Yep, we've done our fair share of cheesing the street bosses as best we can.
and getting nothing from it.
That's right. That's right. Too much. That's funny. That's funny. So next we will do the Gatekeeper. This is the yacht street boss. I mean, it's fun to cheese. It's kind of stale battle, and I mean, I think D tier fits it. Maybe C, but I'm putting it in D tier. Sure, you can honestly cheese the heck out of it as long as you got over 45 laugh points, and even still, if you got 45, you're pretty safe in most situations because he's not going to hit you solely every time. Shoot, all you need is squirt drop. That's it. Maybe tune up. But that's really it. I mean, if you want to go out for those rewards, go for it. But the rewards aren't going to put it up any higher.
I'm going to give it a D as well. 600 HP. Again, I don't think it's that bad. You will never be one shot if it does its 3 attacks, as long as you have 46 and up, as you said. And again, even then, it's really, really unlikely that they'll do the fire attack on you every single time. That just doesn't seem reasonable. And if you allow cogs to join it, they get 50 additional HP, and the Gatekeeper makes it so they take less, but the rest of the cogs absorb it. I just don't think it's that bad. And let's be honest, I think the shield is pretty dumb. And I think the accessories added, like the armor and stuff, I just don't think it's cool. Could be wrong. People might think it's cool. I just don't think it is. So D tier for me, pretty forgettable street manager.
I agree. I agree. Next we'll go to Dave Brubot.
Hell yeah.
Oh man, I love Major Player. I'm gonna put him into A tier. He's the boss itself is it's honestly one of my favorites. Um, I think the only reason I'm not putting him in S tier is because I mean unless you really screw up bad, you're not really at risk of dying. Um, that first phase, it's super easy. You don't really have to worry about dying that phase at all. And then second phase, if you don't have trap, like if your group doesn't have trap, then you'll probably struggle because of those Hollywoods. But I mean, I've done. I think I've done 12 major players now, so I know what to look for and how to do it. It's really not that hard. You're not really at risk of dying, but it's a super fun battle, no matter how many times you do it. I enjoy it, but it doesn't belong in S tier. I think A tier is pretty fair for it.
100% agree with you on that. I would say it's just not us because it's just not difficult enough. Now, I think the accessories, some of the best. I mean, the Rose, you can't go wrong with that. The saxophone is pretty cool,
Oh my
but I kind of
goodness.
am a music guru. I play like guitar and stuff, so that's all cool for me. HP 4444, which is just the basic time signature in music if people did not know that.
That's right.
And again, trap is keen. If you have trap, you probably won't struggle well in case lure misses. And just dance partners is not hard. Just go for your respective cog. You'll do way more damage to it. And
Exactly.
then what's the other one? I think it's Rising Star.
Rising Star, yeah.
All that basically is plus 10 additional damage to their attacks, which I think goes up one every round, and they just get an additional 425 HP.
Yeah.
If you can take care of them, you'll be fine, and you also get plus 5 attached to every Rising Star you defeat.
Exactly.
And there's only 48, and I heard that if they try and spawn a 49th, the game will crash. I don't want to find out if that's true or not, but I would say the scenery, some of the best, but of course I'm biased because I love music, and I just think the personality of the cog, a little bit, it's amazing. So I'm gonna give it kind of like an A plus, but I just can't put it in S because I just don't think the difficulty factor is necessarily there.
Definitely. Cannot disagree there. With Dave Brubot, we go to the
No,
Mouthpiece, also another Minis Melody Land no, manager. I'm honestly going to put her into D tier. She's not hard at all. We've, like I said, we've cheesed all the street bosses as best we can, and she's literally the easiest one to cheese. I mean, if you stay in her battle, then you got to deal with the damage reduction. But honestly, if you got the damage reduction, you can just lure. So it's really not that hard. If you got drop, you're really set. I mean, you can get that boss done in 2 minutes easily. So maybe three. It's just really not that hard. And her
yeah,
reward's
I would
sick too.
also give it a D. Yeah, my bad. I will also give it a D. As you said, the reward glasses, I think they're cool. And the first time I did this, I duoed it with my other tune because Eddie wasn't on, and I did not want to do it with randoms. And that's when I made the discovery that if you book it from the battle and come back, the effect is gone. And I'm pretty sure with two tunes, the reduction I think is 30%. But I know if you have all four in,
It's
your reduction is
75%.
75%, which it's pretty bad. But that only applies if you get hit by the mouthpiece itself.
Mm-hmm.
So all you really have to do is just cheese the ever loving shit out of it, and you'll get done with it in about 3 minutes.
Exactly. It's really not that
So
hard at all.
D for me. Yeah.
With that being said, we're gonna go to the Multislacker. Um, I like Multislacker, but I'm not a big fan. I'm honestly gonna put him into B tier. You can make a case for A tier if you think he's cute. Whatever, that's weird, but that's other people, not me. Um,
Yeah.
he's he's honestly one of the easiest managers to deal with. Literally, I mean, if he goes on to mandatory launch, if you take out the biggest cog first that comes out, a factory foreman, then you're really not going to struggle. But if you leave the factory foreman, then you might struggle. And if he calls those Skelecogs over from his dad's office, whatever you want to call that, the VP towers, they're not that hard to deal with. Most of the times you could just sound, or if you can't sound, you can literally zap them. It's really not that hard. Uh, just multi-slacker doesn't deserve to belong any higher than B tier. I mean, if you want to grind for his hat, sure, I have it. It's cute, but he doesn't belong any higher than B tier.
I'm gonna put it in C tier. I do agree with what you said. I just don't think the praise it should be warranted. And I think the multi slacker is kind of like Chick-fil-A gets all this praise, but at the end of the day, there's nothing to it. I think it's overrated.
That's right.
I mean, the cogs that come out, I mean, it has one of four stats effects. It can either be overhealed, overcharged, take less damage, or deal more damage.
Mm-hmm.
Whoop de doo is not that bad. And then the lunch breaks, I mean, the factory form is not that hard. There's three of them, a 19, 20, and 21. 19, just the first track that's used on the foreman, does less damage, not hard to avoid. The level 20 after every round just removes all the negative effects on cogs. Again, not bad. 21 after like a round or two, a union bust. If you take it out before then, you'll be fine. There's really not much to it. And the hat, I guess, is cool. I saw it on Eddie's tune. Eh, I just don't think it's that great. So I was going to put it in D, but like, it's not like the Mouthpiece. Like, I'd rather do the multi-slacker than the Mouthpiece. So C tier for me. I know there's going to be a lot of haters, but I don't give a rat's ass.
That's right. That's right. This is our opinions. If you have other opinions, that's okay. But this is our tier list. Next one we're gonna do is the Pacesetter. I This will probably be controversial because people, I don't know, people like him a lot. They think he's difficult, but I'm gonna put him into A tier. I'm gonna, I mean, I guess you can put him above Dave if you want, but I'm putting him behind. Honestly, it's not that hard of a boss. Literally, the first round, you just squirt, drop, or I guess you could lure and throw. It's really up to you. And then second round, that's when the cogs come out. You can literally fire and somebody use that track on Pacesetter again. And then the next round, you have them alone, and the you can use throw and drop on him again, or you can just use that one track that you need and then drop. It's really not that hard for Pacesetter. I mean, if you're doing him multi-tuned, then it gets a little difficult because you gotta you gotta work your way through both screens. We honestly did ours multi-tuned. We both used two tunes, and I think we only had rush job. What was it? Twice when we finished. It was either two times or
Was
three times. Well, no, I think
It
my
was three times,
for my
but four
cat.
for your cat because you
Yeah,
used a bang gag.
yeah, that's right. Because freaking lag ended up making my hose red after I chose it. But I mean, honestly, he's a fun boss. Just I don't know. I can't put him above or in the same spot as Chainsaw Consultant because I wouldn't say you're really at risk of losing if you're focused and you complete the rush jobs.
Yeah, I'm also going to give it an A. Well, I would say that all of the battles are easy except for the chainsaw and the pace setter. And I would say if you're with a bunch of people that don't know what they're doing, this is by miles the hardest one.
Oh,
I
certainly.
think the shredder is amazing. That's like out of any one I want to get is probably that one. As I stated before, I play guitar. Not that that has any bearing on the battle itself. So First round, it's just normal speed. Just as Eddie said, a lure and three throw, or if you're built like that, just squirt and three piano. Whatever tickles your pickle. And then round two, just increase the battle by 0.25 times up to a maximum of four times. And if you have a brain, you'll know that's 12 rounds. And sorry.
Hey,
And once the Pacesetter hits, I think it's 5100 HP, we'll go into overclocked mode, which just makes it six times faster. Just satisfy the rush shops, communicate with each other what you're going to use before the timer even begins to tick down. Because six times, that's a 6 and 2/3 second of picking a gag.
yeah,
So you really need to be on your A game. We multi-tune this, which I'd like to argue probably was better for us because we only had to look at each other and what to do and not three other people.
yep, exactly.
And they also released this overclocked, early overclocked, where basically you pass two times and just goes into that overclock six times immediately. The only condition that I see that has changed is just Hurry Sickness goes up into increments of +20 instead of +10. But if you're smart enough, you really shouldn't have a problem with that. There's some instances where it's probably can't be satisfied, but as long as you don't make mistakes, you're really not going to have much of a problem. It will take about 30 minutes, and just don't use bang gags when that comes. The contenting can be confusing, but just look at the color of the track and you'll be fine. Just understand that certain things can help you, certain things cannot. Like if sound comes before lure, that's amazing. And in other situations, if drop comes before squirt, that's probably not as good. Just understand what's going on and just know trap will always come before lure and zap will always come after squirt. You'll get through it. It took us 5 times, but like we didn't. I personally didn't watch videos on it, but I felt like if I went back, I wouldn't have too much of a problem with it.
Yeah, can't disagree there. And about the content sync, honestly, if you're using just one tune, which majority of players are honestly gonna do, it shouldn't be a big deal because all you got to do is focus on your own gags and not multiple tunes. So it really shouldn't be a big deal for most people.
Yeah, and if I must add, just know each other's builds.
Yeah,
I feel like if you go in with randoms, like if everyone's zapless, have fun.
yeah,
You're
you're
gonna
not
be
gonna
screwed
win.
because I know a little bit after 1.3 they made it so that the pace setter can rush drop tracks that tunes don't have. I'm
Yep.
pretty sure 1.3 like initially it was not like that.
No,
So
I think so
there
too.
you go. They really didn't change it all too much. The only thing they changed was basically they said they would target tunes more harshly, which is just 34 lap Ubers. The Quake went from 33 to 34. Whoop de doo. And the Hurry Sickness, instead of starting at 25 and now starts at 35, goes up to increments of 10. Again, not hard.
No,
So
not at
just know
all.
what you're doing, communicate well. It'll be a long enduring thing, but don't worry about it, bro.
That's right. That's right. Now, next we're gonna do Plutocrat. Honestly, I think this is one of Chandler and I's favorite ones to do. I mean, it's not hard at all. Um, Most of the times you can just, I guess, rig it by starting with the certain satellite investors as you want. Like you can get Hydra and Nyx first if you want. That's what we did our first successful try. But after we did it that way, the next time we did it, we decided to just go in with whatever, and we did perfectly fine. I mean, it was honestly okay. I I guess if you don't cheese it, maybe A in terms of difficulty, but for me, I'm gonna put him into B. I'm definitely gonna put him below. I mean, above Multislacker and Duck Shuffler. Um, I mean, his cheats, you really don't have to worry. I mean, if you're in deep freeze, I guess like maybe you can worry a little bit if the cogs only focus on one tune, because most of the times you're gonna do a multiple group tune up and you don't have your knights. Actually, we went through that one time. I think it was maybe our fourth run, like fourth successful run. Um, I used high dive on one of my tunes, but only one of Chandler's tunes got hit by all the cogs, so he ended up losing like 90 left that round, and everybody else was basically full health. But I mean, honestly, if you lower, then it's not really a big deal because Plutocrat and that other satellite investor can't do enough if you heal up with the high dive. But I think he belongs into the B tier, and you can easily make a case for A tier, but B tier for me.
Now, I always say, like, I usually go one below you. This is going to be a situation where I'm actually going to put it higher than yours. I'm going to put it in A. I like Plutocrat. I like that there are five other managers alongside it. I mean, you got Nyx, Hydra, Styx, Kerberos, and Sharon, which I might add have different defenses. Sharon is 70. I know Kerberos is a 75, and then the others have 80. And 80 defenses, the highest out of any of the managers we have seen thus far. And people have had ideas of what to do. People say that Hydra should be in phase one, Nyx should be in phase one, neither Strong Kerberos in phase one, which I strongly disagree with. I think Hydra is not a threat at all in phase two, as we have found out on our most recent run.
Yep.
So I would
Honestly,
say, yeah.
yeah. No. So we we actually had Hydra in in phase two, and honestly, when we had him phase two, it actually took us maybe 5 minutes faster than our first. Like after our, I mean, yeah, we've done it already by that point, but it was still much faster than any other run we did. So I think Hydra belongs in phase two more than phase one because he's really not a threat.
I would say the optimal for phase one should be Nyx, Kerberos, and Sharon, if I'm being completely honest. Styx doesn't really do anything, so keep it in phase two. And Hydra, like, can't do anything either. I mean, his damage up, he can only do to satellite investors. If there's none there, he will do it to himself, and Hydra doesn't necessarily do a lot.
Exactly, and
So
he's
I
easy
would
to take
say,
out.
yeah, but they have different attacks. Nyx basically gives you either a 20% vulnerability debuff, it doesn't stack, and a reward cooldown, which me in phase one, it's not necessarily a problem unless you're completely brain dead in what you're supposed to do. Hydra, as I stated, just does 10% damage up, but this one does stack infinitely. So watch out for that if you have that in phase one. I mean, you could try and deal with it, but better luck just probably just trying to disconnect and try again. Styx
Yeah,
is just the least threatening, just spawns a waiter. I think it's a 12 EXC. And
yeah,
I think like every round just drains a third of the waiter's health and just takes it for himself.
hmm,
Kerberos, not bad either. I think takes 10% of his current HP and doubles it to another cog. So if he takes 100 away, he's going to get 200 to a different satellite investor. Not hard. And Sharon, I don't know how many rounds it is, but basically absorbs 40% of the damage to other cogs. So two of them are dangerous, two of them are annoying, and then you got Styx, who really doesn't do anything. Should take around 30 to 40 minutes if you're knowing what you're doing. Just understand deep freeze. Cogs go first, and it happens when the Plutocrat has 4,500, then again at 3,000, and then finally at 1,500. If you use the Unite during the animation, you should be fine if you're filled up. You really have no reason to die. Although sometimes that people don't know that, and sometimes that luck factor can come in and screw you over once again.
definitely, definitely. Well said. Next one we're gonna do is the Prethinker. Um, I mean, I think we've done the Prethinker a lot. I mean, it's an easy kudos boss. I think B tier is perfectly fine for it. Um, its biggest cheat is the brainstorm, but honestly, if you set it up right, you can set it to where you only get one round of brainstorm. The past two pre-thinkers I did actually, I didn't do them with Chandlers, but the last two I did, we just got him down to, I think it was about 450 health, and then we used drop and throw, and he was at 80 health. That's just because drop is great when it works. That's for sure. I mean, shoot.
Indeed.
I mean, if you're new to the pre-thinker, he can get you with his movements because you don't expect it, but it's pretty easy to deal with. I mean, the first round you're gonna have him alone. Second round you're gonna get two cogs that level 80 XE, and then another Brian bot, whatever. You can honestly squirt and zap or trap one. Doesn't really matter. But Prethinker is super easy. It's it's honestly hard to die if you have tune up.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a C. I think this is like the definition, just an average boss. I mean, castling could cause problems, but if you have score and zap, most of that is eliminated. Don't use Sam 2 times in a row, or else he'll pussy on high behind one of his desk jockeys. Again, as you said, the level 80 XC, all they do is just spawn in more desk jockeys, which are like level 3, 4, and 5s.
Yeah.
Wow, so hard. And then the brainstorm, again, it just happens when he hits 400 HP, and it's just a DOT every round of 10 damage.
Yep.
So honestly, all you need is tune up. You can also use Squirt and Zap, and that's really about it. There's not much to it, and
Yeah.
the cap I still don't have, but
Yeah.
do I really want it? I do remember when quad tuned it on Eddie's Tunes, I finished it in 4 minutes, but I
Yep.
predicted everything correctly. But I just don't think this fight is too hard. And if you just want to chill time and not have to pre-think anything, go for this guy.
That's right. That's right. I think a good way for Clash to maybe make it a little bit tougher is make the brainstorm damage go up by maybe two every round, maybe one, since it's a Toontown Central boss. But I think that might be a good
Yeah.
idea for them to do to make it a little bit more difficult because as it stands, it's probably the easiest. Kudos manager. I mean, I know it's supposed to be easy because Toontown Central, but I think it's a little too easy for now.
Yeah, I don't see him changing it. It's just not one of those bosses people are going to keep doing.
That's true. Next, we're gonna do the Rainmaker. Um, we've done this boss plenty of times. We know her cheats. I mean, I think the first time we did it, we went in blind and we didn't die. But I'm gonna put it into B tier. I'm gonna put her above Duck Shuffler and the Prethinker. Maybe just slightly under Multislacker, but she's a fun, easy boss to do. Her reward, that Stormcloud, I like it. I mean, Chandler, do you like that?
Do I like what?
The Stormcloud that you can get from Rainmaker.
I don't like how your tune sound like it saw its parents die in a car crash.
That's
But
true.
what am I to say?
That's right. That's right. But Rainmakers, it's super easy, super straightforward. I think the only thing that trips people up sometimes is when you go into the monsoon. Some people, I don't know how they don't recognize it, but there's always one cog that's gonna absorb damage. So all you gotta do is just damage the two highest cogs, which are usually level 14 EXE bigwigs. One tune squirts, every other tune zaps, and then do that again. But one tune drops usually a needle nose. What is it, level 6 EXE? Or is it level 5? I don't remember what it is. But it's really not that hard. As long as you can not die to those big wigs, you're honestly okay. And I mean, her attacks, she does more attacks each round, but they honestly don't do much damage. But also, I think another thing that gets people is when she has her lightning. What is that? What is that storm effect where she gets the lightning that's gonna hit the tunes?
Storm Cell?
Yeah, when she gets the storm cell, you just gotta one tune lures, every other tune maybe throws, does something because you gotta decrease that damage. If you don't, then you're really gonna struggle because that lightning starts at 34 damage and that can hurt. But I think the lowest it can only go to is 19. That's the lowest I've ever seen, not any lower. But really, Rainmaker is easy. It's straightforward. It's a good boss to grind if you want to, but doesn't go any higher than B.
I would agree. I'm also going to give it a B. I do like the gameplay. I mean, she has 6 phases, got oil rain, just attack her other cogs. Just just a DOT of 10 damage, and then all cogs will heal 50 HP per round. That lasts like 2 turns. Don't have to worry about that. The fog, again, you just can't see what the Rainmaker is, but if you look really closely, you'll have an idea where she is.
Oh,
You got Heavy Rain, which basically,
or what you can
or
do for the fog, every tune-ups and one tune lures, and she's guaranteed to back up and hit you. So what you can do is, so there's 4 cogs in the battle. She can't move. She just can't. So literally, whatever cog is on Lord, one tune dollar bills. Every other tune just throws, and that's a good way for her to lose about 300 health and cheese it a little bit. I don't know. Some people don't really know about that, but it's a good little way to cheat that fog system.
yeah, thanks for pointing that. I agree. Obviously, you got Heavy Rain, which just does less damage in 1 round, and the rest of it's deferred to another round. Not too bad. Just make sure you're tuned up. Storm Cells, we described, just hit the Rainmaker when possible. It starts at 34 damage and just drops off. You got Monsoon, which I think is where most people struggle if you don't know how to take care of it. I think it happens when Rainmaker is around like 900 HP.
Yeah.
You got like level 14 EXEs, and they have effects. They got a damage boost of 30%. They can get a damage reduction of 30%. Someone can absorb 50% of all damage out of the cogs. You can get the Hydrate effect, which attacks are just 15% more accurate. I don't get why that's really needed if you can take them out in time. And then a random soak debuff, so you can just zap. But in this situation, you can either drop or use squirt and zap. I mean, the guys can't miss, so you can't use like tune up or sound, but that's not bad. And then the final one is just immersion, which I think happens after every 3 rain cycles.
Yeah.
Just heals up for 100 and just gains an extra attack. And then once you get to 1 HP, I mean, you can see the quote unquote secret ending. I don't think the secret ending's all that cool. Just pass 3 times, boom, you found the secret ending. Not going to say it's a spoiler alert because I don't think it's that interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just don't screw up the Monsoon and just know when to hit the Rainmaker, preferably during like Inversion, Storm Cell, and prioritize other cogs like Oil, Rain, Monsoon, and Fog, unless you know where she is, which again, Eddie said you can cheese by luring, using some tune-up, and then pull out a dollar bill, and you'll know where she's at. So,
Exactly.
not hard, 2200 HP. I'll give it a B.
Exactly. Couldn't agree more. Next, we're gonna go on to the Treekiller. I am probably going to stick him into D tier. He's so I guess this is conditional if you want to just go based off just how much you struggle with it. It's super easy to cheese. Literally, he has no damage reduction, and I mean his damage increase onto the tunes when he does the shoot. What is that cheat?
Fill in the bark.
Yeah, when he peels the bark. I mean, if you have him alone, it's not really a big deal. What we found out is you can just have a tune on both sides. Since he has no damage reduction, it doesn't hurt. So literally, you can get Treekiller done. Honestly, I think when we did that, we got it done in like 90 seconds. You can literally,
Yeah.
you literally just have one tune squirt, get 3 tunes drop. The next round, one tune throws, the 3 tunes drop again, and then the next round maybe have one tune up, and the 3 tunes drop because he's still soaked, and then the next round maybe soak and drop again. I think he's done. He's one of the easiest bosses if you do it that way. But if you don't cheese it that way, I think C tier is a good position if you don't cheese it, because that damage increase by peeling the bark can definitely hurt, as we've tried. But D tier for me, just in my personal opinion.
And I will agree with your personal opinion. I'm also going to give it a D tier because I just don't like battles that are scripted. Like every odd round, does peel in the bark, just throws on this bark, takes 7 damage, you turn to a tan color, and you just take 75% more damage from all the cogs. And if you lure the cogs, if there's more around, they just unlure, step back. And if you don't recognize that, then you're in trouble. but usually you just want to get to the line quickly, use like score and three drop or a lure and three throw. You'll take out like 1,000 of his HP. And if cogs do join in, just sound those hoes. It's not that bad. And every even round, we'll just do wood chipped on you, which is just taking 12 damage at the end of the first round of it, and then 21 at the end of the second round. It just repeats those same two cheats.
Mm-hmm.
So just sound when there's cogs around, when it's in the even rounds and odd rounds, you know what to do. Just tune up and stuff like that. It's not too hard. And the tree thing is cool. I mean, I want to get it because obviously Eddie and I don't play by the rules. We like to cheese things when we can,
That's right.
but this guy's a snooze fest.
That's right. That's right.
So, yeah. So, yeah, just after peeling the bark, tune up, and on the other round, just hit the Treekiller, and you'll probably get it done in around 10 minutes. Or if you cheese it, around 2 to 5 minutes.
That's right. That's right.
And
Cannot
I
disagree.
think we got one more, right?
Yep. This one,
Witch
this
Hunter.
last one is the Witch Hunter. I'm gonna put him into C tier as he stands right now. If he didn't get nerfed to the ground, I would honestly put him into A tier just in terms of difficulty. But the way he is right now, you're not in any danger of dying. He's, I mean, Prethinker's easy, but it's a Toontown Central boss, so he's supposed to be. But Witch Hunter is way too easy for how it is. It's supposed to be a heal Toontown boss, which is supposed to be harder than Prethinker. But literally, if you have two tunes with Trap, and then if all tunes have Prestige Throw, two tunes have Tune Up, and all tunes have Sound, you're you're not going to struggle at all. The Witch Hunter is just too easy. I mean, I guess you can get caught by his mob mentality, but like I said, if you have Sound, you can take the mob out really fast, and he's just really no danger, in my opinion. He belongs in C tier, no higher.
I will disagree with you. This one is in my own tier. It's below F tier, and it's called the Free Eddie tier. Please free my man. He's muted because of you guys. Unmute him now.
That's right. That is
I
so
mean, what
right.
does this dude look like to you guys? Like, tell me and be honest with yourselves. Don't say it in game because you could get muted,
You'll
but
definitely get
I'll let
muted.
you jump to your own conclusions. Give this a free Eddie tier for me.
That's funny. Yep, that's right. Free me, please. Unmute me. But yep, that is our Corporate Clash 1.3 managers tier list. If anybody disagrees, you can put in the comments what you disagree with and why. This is, like I said, just our opinions. You don't have to take our opinions for yours. It's yours for a reason. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Any last words, Chandler?
Just free my boy, Uncle Eddie.
Free me, please, Clash. Unmute me. It makes Oklos very hard.
Yep.
But yep, thanks for watching, everybody.